Hi, and thank you for joining me for this video. So over the last week or so, I've been trying out the Decathlon Quechua low seat camping chair 900 XL. Now this chair does have some great features, but it also has some features that I'm not that keen on. But let's have a good look at this chair and see if this chair is a good fit for your next camping trip. So the chair itself comes in this polyester storage bag, and I have to say the storage bag is really well made. It does have a handle on the top. It also has a handle on the side which can double up as a shoulder strap. Now it does have a center zip which is about 3/4 length long, and I have to say that when you open the zip right up, it makes getting the chair out and then back in quite easy. Now when it comes to the size of the storage bag, the length comes in at around 41 centimeters and the width comes in at around 14 centimeters. The packed weight comes in at 1.78 kilograms. Now when this chair is stored away in its storage bag, it is nice and compact. So could you use this for backpacking? Well, yes you could, but because of the packed weight, it's just going to be too heavy for most. But this chair as it is would be ideal for car and motorcycle overlanding, where you can drive straight up to your campsite. And as I say, when this chair is in its storage bag, it is nice and compact. So this is not going to take up a lot of room in the back of your car or when it's strapped to the back of your motorcycle. When it comes to assembling this chair, it's quick and easy, and it'll take you about a minute, and there are only 3 things to do. First of all, you take the base of your chair, you open it up, and in the middle you'll get what Decathlon call the X structure, which just opens up. You open that up, and then all you do is you start slotting all these poles into place. It's quick, it's easy, there's nothing difficult about it. These poles just slot straight in, and honestly, as I say, it doesn't take long. There you go. That's the base of the chair already set up. Now all you have to do is take your fabric of the chair and slide it over all 4 corners of the chair. Now on the back of the fabric of the chair, you will see 4 little pole sleeves in each corner, and as I say, they just slide over the corners of the chair. Now the best thing to do is to start at the back and then finish at the front. So I'm just going to slide these over now. It's very simple, it's very easy, and as I say, it'll take about a minute to do, so not long. And then let's just put the ones over the front, these corners, just slide them over the ends of the chair, and there you go, the chair is assembled. Nice and easy, nice and quick. Now this chair is fully assembled, let's take a closer look, starting with the color. On this chair, the color is classed as a smoked green and a black. The fabric of the chair is made from a polyester, and then the base of the chair is made from an aluminium. Now when it comes to the feet of the chair, they're made from like a hardened plastic. You do get a couple of mesh panels on the side of the chair. They have been designed for comfort and for airflow. You also get a couple of pockets each side. They're not very big, but they're big enough to pop your phone in, or a wallet, or a purse, or some keys. You might be able to just sort of put a little water bottle in there, but they're not that big. Now, talking about the feet of this chair, one thing I like about the feet is that they are quite big and fairly square, so it's going to give this chair some nice stability. Also, if you are on slightly softer ground, this chair shouldn't sink in too much. And lastly, if you are on unstable ground, these feet actually do move independently, so they will find the best level and support for this chair if on unstable ground. Now, when it comes to the size of this chair, from the ground to the highest part comes in at about 74 centimeters. The width along the front of the chair comes in at about 54 centimeters, and then from the ground to the seating position comes in at about 28 centimeters. Now, this chair does have a max user weight of 140 kilograms, so most people would be able to enjoy this chair. So this chair currently sells direct from Decathlon at the time of this video for £59.99. And I have to say, I think it's worth the money. It's well made, it's comfortable, and it's certainly easy enough to assemble. But there are a few things with this chair that I'm not keen on. So let's talk about those. Firstly, the size of the storage bag. Yes, I mentioned it's not a bad size, but to a point, when you're getting the base of this chair out and then putting it back in, that was easy enough. But it's when you came to the fabric of this chair, trying to especially put this back into the chair when you were packing things away became a bit difficult. So yeah, if the storage bag could be just that bit bigger, that would be great. When it comes to the assembly of the chair, it is easy and should take you no longer than a minute with a little bit of practice. But what would make it easier is on the back of the chair, as I said, you get your little pole sleeves. Well, if Decathlon sewed some little loops on each corner that you could pop your finger through, it would help slide the fabric over the corners of the poles a lot easier. Now, when it comes to this chair, it is classed as a low chair. And I would have to say it is pretty low, to the point that I think if you are suffering with knee problems or your legs aren't very strong, you may very well struggle to stand up from a seated position in this chair. You know, you haven't really got anything to lever yourself on. So yeah, if your knees aren't great or your legs aren't very strong, maybe this chair would just be a little too low. Now, this chair does support you all the way up the back, which is nice, but I do find when it comes to the top part by the head of the chair, it does go back just that little bit too far, so your neck is sort of like leaning a bit too far back for my liking. So if they designed the top part of this chair that it just came in a little bit, I think that would have made a huge difference. Alternatively, perhaps they could have given you a small little headrest that slides over the top of this chair just to support your head. Or what I actually was thinking is that they could actually stitch like a pocket in the top part of this chair, so you could actually just stuff a little towel or a t-shirt down just to give you that little bit of support. Now, when it comes to the weight of this chair, a lot of people will feel that it's too heavy for backpacking, and you are probably right. So people will look for a smaller and a lighter chair. But bear in mind, when it comes to camping chairs, there's always going to be a trade-off. And generally, when you buy a camping chair that is smaller and lighter, two things happen. One, the price goes straight up, but also the max user weight tends to go down. So there is always going to be a trade-off with this chair. So it is just about trying to find the chair that's right for you. Now, yes, I've shown you this chair in this video, but you're never going to be going in store and actually sitting on the chairs and trying them out, because chairs are really personal. Now, with this chair, you might be looking at it thinking, do you know what, I really like this chair, but it'd be nice if it came in some different sizes. Well, it actually does. You can get this same chair in 2 different sizes, and you can get it in a different color to this one. Decathlon make the same chair as this, but they make it in a medium and a large. Now, they don't make it in a small, because the small, although is big enough for an adult, it is small enough for a child to use. And then apart from this color, the other color they offer in this chair, I believe, is sort of like a beige black color. But, you know, at least you've got some choices for the chair. But I really like the chair. I'm going to keep using this chair. As I said, the main thing I think for me is probably the very top by your neck, but I'll just have to put a towel or a little pillow or cushion behind my neck. But because the chair is so comfortable, that's not a deal breaker. But let me know what you think about this chair, and is it a chair that would appeal to you, or are you after something a bit smaller and a bit lighter, regardless of the price and the max user weight? But on that note, if you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, it is completely free to subscribe. And lastly, please turn on the bell notification so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. But until next time, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.